Hey guys, look, I discovered templates. Let me know if you like it. Okay, sorry it's been a super long time since I've put up anything, but hey, here's a clip of I finally got First Order Stormtrooper to 7 stars. I got 7-star BB-8. Awesome for the account, but I have some much more pressing matters to talk about. Okay, first things first. Sorry I didn't put out anything for a long time. You know, stuff comes up, life happens. Um, it is all, for the most part, resolved. Side note, I finished my degree finally, so that's kind of cool, but I've been working full-time for 4 years, so it doesn't really matter. Anyways, so, the truth. I'm finally coming out and telling you guys the truth. I know that this is a bit of a meme build. I get it. People go for Rey last for a reason. I understand. Okay, it feels good to finally get that off my chest. But the purpose of this account is far more important. What I want to accomplish with this account is showing that you don't have to follow, you know, the Executor build path or SLKR or Kenobi first. Not a lot of people say Kenobi, but still, you don't have to follow any specific thing in order to see results. I'm hoping that I can demonstrate with this account that the game is not get this, then this, then this. The game is not get, you know, the priority tier list from A to B to C, you know? The game is resource management and planning, which sounds much more boring, but that's what it is. That's the game that you and I are playing right now. This is a resource management game. Those who plan out their builds and kind of figure out the efficient ways to gain and acquire resources will do better. And a big part of those are not necessarily related to Galactic Legends, but are around specific pieces of content. Okay, now that I've said that, let's catch up on what I have done so far. Right, so first things first, you obviously saw Poe Dameron relic, the very first relic on the account. Very exciting. Helps out in fleet a lot. His ship does quite a bit more damage now. It's very exciting. I'll talk about the problems I'm having in Fleet Arena right now in just a minute. Right, I finished First Order Stormtrooper, obviously, replacing that farm with Rose Tico, which will eventually slot into my Zori Bliss new updated resistance team. Very exciting. I can go into more details on how that is going so far, but other than that, everything's pretty much been the same, right? I put a little bit of gear on resistance heroes, but I'm still farming all of this stuff. Now, where the things have deviated. First off, ships are kind of starting to go a little stagnant. I think that it'll get better, obviously, once I get the ships up to 7 stars and get Bosk up to 7 stars. I think that'll help a lot. The current issue that I'm having, right, is in my shard, in my Fleet Arena shard, there are a lot of people who are whaling, and whaling specifically on either fleet characters or like trying to go super hard towards Executor. Like, look at this guy. He's very obviously clearly rushing Executor with every dollar he has. 6-star, 5-star, 6-star, Relic and Gear 12, all of these guys. Like, he's very obviously going and wailing and rushing for Executor. And it is, yeah. Relics on Geo already. It's kind of crazy what some of the people in my shard are doing. It makes it really inconvenient for me, who's hoping for an average shard where people aren't. Like, honestly, some of the people are as close to Executor in my main account shard. Like, okay, my main account is not that new. It's about a year old, I think. I don't actually remember when I started it, but people in that shard still don't have Executor. There's some people that are close. I myself am close, but like this guy is completed a Relic 5 Bosk. He's going to be relicking probably these two next. And he's got everything else gear 12. Like, he's literally just going straight for it, which, hey, that's an option. And some might say it's a pretty decent option. And I think Executor first as like your first big farm is probably the best thing to do. But it's making it really inconvenient for me. So that's where I'm at now. So I was consistently getting like top 10, but now I'm consistently getting top 20, which not nearly as good. I would really like to get back in the top 10, and I think that I might once I start getting my ships. I can show you my loadout. This is what I'm currently doing. Once I get these 2 to 7, obviously, and Falcon up, then I'll do a lot more damage. Everything will survive a lot longer. That's the main issue, is that my ships that are doing damage, they're still fragile, and they probably will obviously remain fragile, but as I gear up these characters a little bit more, then the fleet will obviously become much more viable. Okay, moving on. The next thing is oh right, okay, deviations in kind of the first original plan. The first plan was pretty much just like ignore everything, go resistance because it's funny. I changed my mind. I'm going to do go resistance and get Rey first, but do it in at least hopefully a semi-reasonably efficient way, right? So that means focus a little bit more on resource allocation and gathering, and not even at the cost of slowing the farm, because the main length of this farm is getting everyone relicked. But there's like one slight detour to that, and then a detour to what I'm doing kind of after I finish all the shards for Rey, the Rey characters. So here it is. Yes, I stole the format from Darth Loquitur. I want him to be my second dad. I think he's phenomenal and a genius. Anyways, so this is the idea. This is where we are now. Obviously, I've just finished Stormtrooper literally today. And Poe, I relicked just 3 days ago, and I stockpiled a little bit to get him up. He's R4 right now. He should be R5 very soon. Once he's finished R5, I will go back to farming Ebonhawk, which is where we are here. Ebonhawk obviously has leeway room out to here, because this is where I should be finishing Rey's version of the Falcon. But this is the plan, right? So we're currently farming Rose Tico. Once we finish Bosk, we'll get on Holdo. And then after that, it's literally like waiting for Radis to get to 5-star and relicking just everything. And relics, based on my estimations, go out to like week 54, so just over a year, which makes total sense. That is like the going and tested rate for getting your first Galactic Legend if you like focus on it first. So I'm technically on pace. However, if you noticed, my last character will be done with shards by week 28. Like the start of week 28 is when that finishes, theoretically. I've been pretty spot on with my estimates based on these two farms. Cantina, obviously not. These went much faster, actually, which is kind of nice. But this is what I hope to do post like Rey character shards, and that is focus on resource gathering, I guess. So my next relic is actually going to be Snow Trooper, because he's fantastic. He's pretty cheap to relic, and I think that the Trooper team, specifically for assault battles, will put me in a much better position to relic all my characters faster, or at least keep on pace with relicking them at a normal rate, rather than having to farm every single one of these pieces. Because that challenge tier 1 for those 2 assault battles from that troopers team will get me quite a bit more resources, which is much needed. So as you can see, I'm going to start doing a little bit of a focus on assault battle teams. This is going to cover 2 assault battles to challenge tier 1. And then next comes rebels. Why rebels? Shut up. I'm about to tell you. Rebels will do 2 things for me. 1, they will get me the assault battle, obviously, for rebels. 2, they will gear up Han and Chewie for the Millennium Falcon. Why? Because Admiral Raddus and the Profundity Journey will be the next big thing that I do. The ship is obviously fantastic, and even though it requires an R9 and some R8 stuff, and I want to get Rey to R8, I have a plan to eventually start saving crystals at a reasonable pace, that I don't disrupt relic materials or shards from Cantina too much to the point where it slows the entire farm down. And so I should be able to like back off on a few refreshes and instead save crystals and get Relic 8 and Relic 9 materials with crystals. Now, so Chupio is really the only thing that I have to farm for CLS with regular energy. The rest I pretty much have or comes from fleet shop unlocks. So I'll show you what that looks like. Unlock squads. So we're going to unlock Chewie. Han obviously comes from the raids. This is the Chewie squad because pilot, already have it / pilot, getting it because I'm farming a ship, and pilot. That's pretty much it. And honestly, these 3 alone could probably solo with the right gear, but I'm going to probably put like the leadership Zeta here, maybe the second one just to help out with the ship, and also it's a great Zeta. And then maybe like gear 11, 12, gear 11, 12. That's kind of the plan for unlocking Chewie, and I can put a little bit of gear on some of them just because like it helps out. And this should be a reasonable thing to unlock Chewie. And 3PO, obviously, I have a plan to farm out these. Wicket is on my list of farms, specifically for once I get him to 7 stars, then I get access to his little mini dedicated challenge, which is awesome, and will give me some extra Zeta materials, I believe. And I have time to do it because of look how long it's going to take to farm all of these relics, right? And I have time to do it. So, IG 2000 obviously needs to start early, and so does Xanadu Blood. Starts pretty early for the Profundity Journey, in air quotes, obviously, because Profundity is exponentially better with the original Falcon. So, we need to unlock that. We start getting Mon Mothma, and we're probably going to build a little mini Rebel Fighters team out of that. Vander Chewie, because Dash Rendar is a requirement, and his ship, and I want to build the Dash Rendar team. So Dash Rendar, L3, and Kira are on the list. And then Geos are on my Cantina farm, but I'm kind of buying them out of the fleet store. So that should hopefully come passively, because with my Get 2, I've been buying the Malevolence, and that's going to be my first Get 2 ship, just so that I have, more in the interim for Grand Arena and the like. But honestly, I'm going to probably try to do Raddus as much as possible, just because I think it'll be great, and funny, and entertaining, and that's what this account is about. Not efficiency, entertainment, and fun, while maintaining, some semblance of success and progress. Okay, moving on. I don't want to ramble too much. This is going to be a long video because there's a lot to catch up on. So, now that we've finished BB-8 to 7 stars, very exciting, we can start getting Jedi Training Rey. Extremely exciting. And I have this team somewhat set up. Obviously, like gear 10 is okay, but like they're probably going to be my next set of like get them up to like gear 10, 11, 12. And I might switch a few things around with my relic order, but so after I relic Snow Trooper for the Troopers team, then I have Finn for two-ish reasons. One, because it'll help boost that original Finn team pretty significantly. Him getting even tankier just really helps that team out, which is awesome. But also for the Rey's Millennium Falcon, which will help my fleet out more. So it does pretty good so far. Honestly, I feel like the main drawback is ship stars are holding me back. My Rey's Falcon is still 4-star. And it comes slowly. Obviously, it's ships, as you know, are infamously slow. But we're still on track with all of our ships, so we're doing the best we can. And then after that, it's Jedi Training Rey, Resistance Hero Brothers. BB-8 I might actually switch and make a little later, because while BB-8 is fantastic, he's kind of used for the utility of him. And lack of relics will not detract from that too much. So maybe I was thinking, because Holdo will be ready to go like here, right? Week 26 is when the Falcon farm should be finished, and that should also coincides with farming out Lando's Falcon. Comes at pretty much the exact same pace. So the ships required for the Raddus journey should all be 7-star by week 26. Which is pretty good. We're on week 8 right now. Week 8 just started. Week 26 I should have the Raddus. So putting Holdo first will probably help me out more. I will obviously, by this point, I expect to have a lot of things up to gears 11 and 12 in the Rey journey specifically. So it's just a matter of like relics. So relic 5 Holdo I think would help, but also so would Resistance Pilot. So I might move Resistance Pilot up. The relic order back here is a little bit more fuzzy. It was kind of just filling in. But that aside, the plan is still like focus on building up this team and this team kind of side by side. So these 3 relics are pretty darn important. These provide great utility. I don't plan on relicking R2, obviously, because that will slow my journey down, and I do not want that. So it's kind of just an extra slot. Maybe that'd be a good place for Holdo, maybe, as Holdo's a great tank. But yeah, we'll see. So moving on. To finish out Troopers, obviously Snow Trooper is going to be my next relic, but these guys are not going to go super high in terms of gear. You don't need them super high to get Challenge Tier 1 finished. I really just need that Challenge Tier 1 for those materials. Okay, moving on. So outside of that, I finished the Resistance X-Wing, obviously. I got a lot of shards from like that fleet shop. It shows up like super frequently in that top slot, so whoops. Once these 3 are finished, then I'll start phasing in this stuff. These are just like good characters that'll come eventually, and you know how it is. I should also probably include Mando at some point, I guess, but that's later in the future, and I'm not really super worried about that, even though Mando would be a great addition to my current set of bounty hunters. But the first focus, as ships take just so long, are getting the ships needed and required for the Admiral Raddus and Profundity journey. So that's kind of like the next step, but this is honestly going to be a long time. Starting around here is when this column will be starting to farm. But as you can see, like the plan focuses heavily on getting teams up and ready for resource gathering, right? And getting, honestly, a good solid core set of teams like CLS, and with my Zori Bliss, this is actually a solid team now. Jedi Training Rey, always been a solid team. I'll have, this will not be a phenomenal team, but it'll do something, I guess. It'll kill some trash teams. I have this odd BB-8 unlock squad, I guess, that'll go on the back line of defense because I have nothing else, kind of thing. But eventually I'll have a 3PO team, a kind of cheap little bears team, I guess, because I'll unlock 3PO. And that all comes kind of once all of the shards are done for the Rey journey. I could switch the order of that because I obviously don't need all the shards right away, because we're relicking out for so long. But this is the plan, right? Some of this is prospect to change, but it's a plan, and I'm excited to share with you guys the results of this plan. I also am going to switch around. I'm going to put these earlier because obviously Snowtrooper will be relic probably sooner than I get all of these done in terms of Zetas. So Zeta order is obviously prospect to change. Sorry, I've been rambling for so long, but this is it. Again, I know, not the ideal journey, but I've had a lot of fun with it so far. It's been really exciting, especially having Zori Bliss to get a little bit of extra oomph to my starter team, and I've seen decent results in like GP equivalent matches for Grand Arena. There's been a few times over the last little while that I've slacked a little bit, because some life stuff has been happening. So hopefully I'll be a little bit more consistent with these updates, and they won't be as long or as rambly, and I will revisit the plan once an episode, just to go briefly over, like, hey, this is what's coming up, especially during transition periods or relic periods, but you'll see those regardless anyways. So without any further ado, let me know your thoughts and comments on the build. Let me know what you expect to see in terms of Grand Arena success, relicking pace success, if you think that this is pretty much one a month, right? Relic once a month, which I think is totally doable if you play efficiently and consistently. Let me know if you think this is too ambitious or not ambitious enough. Yeah, and I'm excited to get your guys' thoughts. I know that the video is long, and I will be surprised if anyone even gets to this point, honestly. But if you do, thank you so much, and like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next update.